It used to be that kids would collect baseball cards, Beanie Babies, little toy cars that zip around on tracks. The youth of today pretty much just collect followers and likes. But there are still people collecting, and on a big scale. Collectors like museums have to wrangle everything from planes to trains. Past innovations such as the automobile, the motel, the tri-motor airplane. From a historical point of view, artifacts and innovations, whether they're culturally pivotal or seemingly ordinary, all contribute to the whole.
I think what's most important about what's visible on exhibit are the stories that are being told and the context they're being told in. I think that gets to part of the curatorial expertise, which is that it's combinations of things that are important.
Chief Curator Marc Greuther and I walked through one of the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation's giant storage buildings to discuss the importance of preserving important inventions and innovations of yesteryear. Seeing automobiles where evolution and innovation is very clear and understandable to people next to other collections where it might be a little harder to grasp is very helpful.
There's a kind of synergetic effect that goes on there.
Even something as obviously connected as gas pumps, to see them next to automobiles and see, oh yeah, well, of course, those went through innovations as well.
That's true. That gets to the context of the automobile. You do need infrastructure. You need places to eat, you need places to stay.
And then lodging.
Exactly.
Right? And then all those things.
All those things connect. The connections they're incredibly rich, and the connections are where we've got to, in some ways, be careful with the storytelling, because ultimately you can figure out a way of connecting everything.
Presenting historic innovations means using connections and contrasts. Not only is there a diversity of objects, such as these classic automobiles sharing the gleaming storage space with heavy wooden textile equipment like this, but there is also diversity of scale. You collect a lot of ephemera.
Right, it runs the gamut from very, very large heavy machinery right through to things that could flutter away if you
And I'm guessing something the size and weight of a single stamp could be quite valuable.
Oh, absolutely. It could be valuable in and of itself, but also part of a collection.
An example of this comes in the ephemeral items collected and captured by photographer John Margulies.
I've characterized him as a kind of local historian, but his locality was the 50 or so feet alongside every road in the US. He documented roadside America, took photographs of signage and buildings, but also began to collect the ephemera associated with that. So road maps, labels, postcards.
A single label.
Right, indeed.
Sparking people's imagination is the true goal of collecting history's treasures of innovation.
We're in the inspiration business. We are trying to inspire people. We are trying to kind of peel away the world that everybody lives in. We're using essentially America's traditions of ingenuity, innovation, and resourcefulness, and we're using that as a lens for looking at the world.